after your first year, I've talked to Joey McGuire yesterday, and he said that one of the things that you were a little bit surprised about in the Big 12 was just the physical nature of the conference, just going out every week. Is that, and you addressed that a little bit up there, is that something that your team has kind of embraced going into year 2, that, hey, we're going to go out here because BYU is a physical program, you were a fullback, you come from defensive background, you love playing smash mouth football, are your guys, is your roster a little more dedicated to that principle of showing everybody who you are?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. The sense of urgency, I think when we knew our identity was being physical, but then you run into teams that are physical too, and you're like, well, in the past you've been able to hang your hat on that, like as that being a competitive advantage. Well, now that's basically the standard. So for us, it's like, how can we be more physical? This is the most physical spring ball we've ever had, and I say that with our local media around because they weren't able to watch it because we didn't have a spring game. It was perfect timing for me not to have a spring game, but we had guys get bumped up, get injured a little bit here and there, it wasn't because of what I did. The players know exactly what to expect. They know what they need to practice. Our walkthroughs were more physical than we've ever had. So these guys want to get back on the field. A sense of urgency is not just from them, but from myself as well. I've been really pleased with what I've seen from the team, the intrinsic motivation. So all that stuff had to happen for us to go through this first year. Now year 2, I expect much different results.
The quarterback battle opened up to all 4 guys that you mentioned on the stage.
I just mentioned them because I don't think anyone ever talks about those other guys that are here.
Are they going to get first string reps?
Well, I want to play the best guys. So I don't think that we've been through quarterback battles before where we've had 3 or 4 guys that can play. So I think what I've seen on the offseason from those guys, they're all ready. So I hope we don't get to our 4th quarterback, but if we do, we're ready for it.
We know that you don't pay attention to preseason school, especially from the media, because no one knows what they're talking about, right? 13th, though, do your players use that as a little motivation, a little bit of a slight?
No, so I mentioned it before. There's a lot of unknowns with us, and so when you're in a position, what have we done to earn the benefit of the doubt? So it'd be hard for me to get mad at all you guys because you didn't vote for us. Well, what have we done to you don't know a lot of things that we do. But our players and myself, we know what we can get done. We know what to expect now that we've been through it. And we're looking forward to this next year. It's not about proving you guys wrong. You guys just don't know. But once we get on the field, you're going to know, and you're going to feel it. And hopefully, we can change some minds. But you don't just show up with BYU and expect people to understand and give you the benefit of the doubt. That just doesn't happen. And we don't expect that to happen. But also, we don't look at it as an angry thing, like, oh, this is no respect type of deal. No, we have a way to earn it. I don't fault you guys of how you did it, but if you're able to see what we see and know what we know, then I think it'll be a little different, but that's okay.
From a recruiting perspective, what did you notice? What was the difference when you joined the Big 12?
Huge difference. I mean, we were able to get interest on players that didn't really look into coming out west, especially from Texas and the other side of the country. And we got recruits from Atlanta that wanted to look more into our program, and when they saw our school and how we run it, and they're like, okay, this is something I could really be a part of and thrive there in that culture. And so it's kind of opened a lot of new doors that we never were able to get to. And so it's added more players to our team and made us better.
What do you remember about the Oklahoma State game last year? Anything specific that you feel like y'all were able to learn coming out of that one?
You mean that we had the lead and gave it up and Ollie ran like crazy in the second half? Yeah, it was frustrating, but there's a lot of cool things to learn from it. You have to get over the bitter feelings of the result. You get to the point of like, what did we do well? What can we improve on? How can we do this more consistently? And you got to expect that the other team's doing the same too. So you just can't show up and think, well, we're working hard, that's going to be good enough. We have to work hard, but we have to pay attention to all the little details, all the nuances that get us there, all the little things that get the team there. And I can tell you that the players have taken this intrinsic motivation to do it themselves. And I'm liking what I'm seeing from the program. It's not me telling them anymore, it's them just telling each other and kind of educating the young guys that are there for the first time.
You played at BYU, coached at Utah, coached at BYU. You know this rivalry better than anybody. The Big 12, this is probably the best rivalry in the Big 12 now, just coming in. What does this mean not only for the state of Utah, but for the entire conference to have a rivalry this intense?
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense, and I said that earlier, but you guys all know that this is something that I think is one of the best rivalries in sports altogether, and at all different levels. I mean, this goes into households, and mine, even in my home. I mean, I have an older brother that played at Utah, and me and my little brothers played at BYU, and my sister went to Utah. So it's like, everyone's going to have their loyalties. My family better be cheering for me, but I think it's not uncommon to see families on that Saturday cheering for opposite teams. That's okay, but that's what makes it so passionate and exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm just glad it's back on the schedule.
To piggyback off of him, Morgan Scally was named the head coach in waiting. You've coached with him. What kind of coach are they going to get?
Great coach, and he's had great mentoring from Kyle Whittingham. We speak a lot of the same language when it comes to football and brand of football. So I'm excited for Morgan. I talked to him about it. I mean, we didn't see this in the future, but like we were all in the same staff, and now I'm head coach at BYU, and he's going to be head coach at Utah, and we have a mentor, Kyle Whittingham, that played at BYU and played for Lavelle Edwards, and so did I, and Super Bowl champion Andy Reid played for BYU too. So this is kind of a cool thing where you can see the legacy of Lavelle in all different levels of football.
What's it like to recruit against Morgan?
Oh, it's hard to recruit against everybody, So like recruiting, but I think for us is getting the guys that really fit at BYU, and it's kind of educating all the people that don't know what we're about, letting them see what we're about on the football field, but then also off the football field, how they can thrive as a human being. And I think that when they're comfortable in that setting and you're around people that you love, that love you, I think you're going to find yourself in a good.
So much returning talent.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
You interrupted me. There's going to be something really profound there, and you messed it up. Oh, okay.
Maybe you can work it into your
I'm going to text it to you later. This is what I meant to say. Go ahead.
You have so much returning talent. Led by
We'll go ahead and continue with UCF coach
Do you
Gus Malzahn.
feel that as a strength that you can keep the score manageable and offense just kind of needs to do enough?
I think the biggest issue was that we just got to keep guys healthy, and if not, you got to rely on depth to help them get there, and that's going to be the goal. We've been working on that since the season ended last year, so we're hopefully that it worked out. But I believe that we've made some really good